What is up, my Pika crew? This is the ThePikaWu, and welcome to another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today, I've got another underused tier match against a guy called the Flaming Emboar. So he does post Pokemon-related content on his channel, so please be sure to check out his channel after the match. A link will be in the description below. So today, I'll be using the same team as my last video, so I won't be talking too much about my team construction, but you can listen to that by watching my previous video. A link will be in the description as well. So going into the team analysis, my core, as I mentioned in the last video, is focused on Fairy, Dark, Ghost, and the main focus is to use Hydreigon and Doublade to take out threats to Slurpuff and then attempt to Belly Drum sweep the opponent's team. However, in this match, Slurpuff will most likely not be able to sweep because he does carry the Sableye on his team, and that has priority Will-O-Wisp. Since my team is pretty bulky, has 2 priority users, and can shut down opposing walls, there are very few Pokemon that can completely counter my team. But as I looked at the team preview before battling him, I noticed Sableye is going to be a pretty frustrating Pokemon to deal with. Now on my opponent's side, it seems like he's got a pretty clear strategy. Galvantula sets up Sticky Web for speed control. Sableye and Manabuzz can shut down hyper offensive or extremely defensive Pokemon, and the goal is for his 2 Frail Sweepers to pummel through my team. For Sceptile, I either need Doublade or Venusaur at high health, or Mamoswine to be alive. For Infernape, if he is choice, then it's a lot easier to deal with since I just have to predict either the fighting or fire type move, meaning that Doublade and Blastoise are incredibly useful to keep alive as well. But if he is a Life Orb Wall Breaker set, then that will pose a really big threat to my team. It can tear down my defensive core really easily, so my strategy here is conserving the Pokemon that I think are important while firing off really damaging hits since my opponent's team is relatively frail. Now, in terms of leads, I was expecting the Galvantula or Infernape to lead off, so given this assumption, the clear lead for me would be Mamoswine. With Focus Sash, I can survive any one hit and go for the Earthquake and Ice Shard combination to take both of those Pokemon out, and I should be able to get that matchup advantage. So I hope you guys enjoy this battle. So I'm going to lead off with my Mamoswine as my opponent leads off with Sableye. I actually didn't expect Sableye to be a lead, and this is actually going to pose a problem to my Mamoswine lead. So since I'm expecting the Will-O-Wisp and I don't want to get burned, there's 2 Pokemon that really don't mind the burn, and that's my Venusaur and my Hydreigon. So I decided to bring in my Venusaur to take it, but my opponent actually reveals the Fake Out instead. To me, I think Fake Out is a waste of a moveset for Sableye unless it's in a double battle, and this makes me want to scout what this Sableye's full moveset is. So I decided to go for Sleep Powder in case he doesn't carry it, in case he doesn't carry the taunt, but he does carry it and shuts down my Sleep Powder. So now that I'm forced to attack, I do choose Sludge Bomb over Leaf Storm, because even though it is a resist, I might be able to get that poison status and gradually get residual damage against the Sableye. Especially if the Sableye has Recover, that would be particularly useful. So I basically stay in knowing that nothing on his team really appreciates a Sludge Bomb, and because I really don't want to switch out my Venusaur just yet, so I am just going to continuously go for the Sludge Bomb to hopefully get the poison. But he does reveal his last move, and that is his knockoff, so I know he doesn't have Recover now, and this gives me the opportunity just to take him out with Leaf Storm instead of going for another Sludge Bomb. But my opponent makes the switch right into his Infernape to resist the hit. And bringing in Infernape is a really smart play there, because he ended up resisting the hit, and it's really scary since I basically have to predict correctly whether he's going to go for the fire type move or the fighting type move. So I end up bringing Blastoise in because I feel that Doublade is more important to keep at high health, and I can't afford it getting hit by a potential fire type move. And luckily for me, I actually make the correct prediction. He does go for the Fire Punch, and I am going to take that decently. So with my correct prediction, this puts me at a great position since now I have the matchup advantage. I can predict him switching out into his Sceptile or Manabuzz, and I can opt for the Ice Beam instead of the Scald. Unfortunately for me, he stays in and just goes for the Thunder Punch, and that was kind of surprising because Infernape is the most dangerous Pokemon on his team, and I thought he would like to conserve it. I didn't think he was going to stay in and risk getting taken down by a Water type move, so that's why I continuously go for the Ice Beam. Now, you might think the second Ice Beam is a misplay because now he's going to be able to take me out with the second Thunder Punch, But the main reason why I chose to go for the Ice Beam is there's a high chance he's going to switch there. And if he does switch, it's going to be either his Sceptile or his Mandibuzz. And if he doesn't switch out, that's fine as well, because like I said in the team preview analysis, Blastoise is mainly there just to be able to take hits from Infernape. And with those two Ice Beams, it's going to be enough so that I can revenge kill it anyways with my Doublade. So now I'm able to take it out. He's going to bring in his Galvantula. And Galvantula is going to scare me out because I don't quite want to take a Thunder with my Doublade. Since like I said earlier on, I really need it at high health. So I'm just going to bring in my Mamoswine instead. The main reason why is because if he goes for the Thunder, I'm fully immune of that hit. And if he does go for the Sticky Web to try to lower my team speed, it does allow my Mamoswine to have his Focus Sash still intact. This actually puts me in a great situation because I don't really think Mandibuzz would be a comfortable switch in for my opponent because I could potentially go for the Icicle Crash or the Stone Edge. But unfortunately, he does bring in the Mandibuzz, and because I am an Endeavor set, I actually don't carry those two moves, so I can't really deal with Mandibuzz. So instead, my plan was actually just to bring in my Slurpuff as he goes for the Defog to remove my Stealth Rocks. And this works out perfectly because I do get a free switch into my Slurpuff. Now, there are two things I can do. I can just go for an attacking move, or I can set up Belly Drum. And I do decide just to go for the Play Rough and not set up immediately, because it depends on what this Mandibuzz is carrying. If he carries the knockoff, then I can set up. If not, then, and he carries the Foul Play, he can actually take me out because Foul Play uses my attack, and with +6, that's going to deal a lot of damage to me. So I end up not setting up again, and the main reason why is because he does have that Sableye still intact, so I'm just going to go for the Play Rough once more as he brings in the Sableye, and I am able to take it down. So that's great. That means that if I do get a chance to set up Belly Drum, I now can, because he doesn't have priority Will-O-Wisp. So he's going to bring in his Galvantula. Thunder is going to deal a ton of damage against me, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring in my Venusaur, basically as death fodder. And my opponent makes the smart choice just to go for the Sticky Web to, again, lower my speed and take me out with a Signal Beam. And I am okay with that because my main point for the Venusaur was to serve as death fodder. And the Sticky Web doesn't really hurt my team too much because my team is relatively slow except for my Hydreigon, and that Pokemon is completely immune of that Sticky Web. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and bring in my Doublade, and the main reason why is because I just want to go for the Iron Head to deal damage and break his potential Focus Sash, and then try to take it out with maybe a Iron Head plus Shadow Sneak combination. But I am actually able to scare it out instead, and he brings in the Machamp, and that Pokemon doesn't really take the Iron Head well, and I have a great Machamp counter. I know that he is going to go for the knockoff because it's super effective and knocks off my Eviolite, and even if I switch, knockoff is beneficial regardless. So the best thing I can do is just bring in my Hydreigon. I don't really mind losing my Life Orb, and I resist that hit, so I can just fire off a Draco Meteor and take it out. But I do end up missing. He gets that Ice Punch off, and that is going to hurt my Hydreigon greatly. I am just going to go ahead and fire off another Draco Meteor. This time he conserves his Machamp, he switches it out, and leaves his Mandibuzz to get taken out. And that's a fair trade. I think that was a good play on my opponent's part because Machamp is definitely more deadly than his Mandibuzz, especially with his Sticky Web setup. So here he brings in his Sceptile. I actually went for the Roost here, just expecting to die because he outspeeds me with a higher base speed. But surprisingly, he doesn't actually outspeed me. Maybe because he's modest and I'm timid nature. I actually go for the Roost before he actually deals damage. So had I actually not clicked on a random move and just went for Draco Meteor again, this Sceptile would have been taken out. Unfortunately for me, I don't go for an attacking move. He goes for the Dragon Pulse, and I do get taken out. But like I said in the team preview, as long as I have Mamoswine still alive, I can outspeed with a priority Ice Shard and take it out. Surprisingly, my opponent is very, very aggressive and not conservative with his frail Pokemon. So he actually stays in to take the Ice Shard, and I basically just neutralized his two greatest threats to my team. Now, my opponent has two Pokemon left, his Galvantula and Machamp. And the one thing I'm still worried about is his Galvantula because it might have a Focus Sash. So what this means is that I need Doublade alive. So instead of bringing in Doublade, I do decide to bring in Slurpuff to take the Dynamic Punch. And for some reason, he actually misses the Dynamic Punch. So I guess he accidentally had Guts instead of No Guard. And this works in my favor because as he goes for the Bullet Punch and fails to take me out, I can take him out with the Play Rough, without worrying about confusion hacks. And then I might be able to deal damage against his Galvantula too. So he is going to bring in his Galvantula. He is going to go for the Volt Switch here, and that's not quite going to take me out. I'm not sure if he actually carries the Thunder or not. And this is super beneficial because now I can guarantee myself taking this Galvantula out with my Doublade since I have that Iron Head and Shadow Sneak combination. So that is going to be the game. I am able to win the match. And even though I did end up winning, I still like to have a few takeaways because I did make a couple of misplays as well. First, I realized how easily my defensive core was broken down in this match. With Venusaur Burn, he was a lot easier to be taken down. And I learned that when deciding whether I wanted Venusaur or Hydreigon to take the burn, I made the mistake of choosing Venusaur. Hydreigon actually doesn't mind it as much, and during this match, if I brought in my Hydreigon against Sableye earlier, I could have hit the opponent's team a lot harder, a lot earlier. Another thing I learned is that when death foddering, to not just press a random move. If I didn't roost there against his Sceptile when I had my Hydreigon out, and chose Draco Meteor instead against his Sceptile, then that Sceptile would have been a dead Sceptile. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. If you guys did, feel free to leave a like, and if you are new to my channel, if you do end up liking my commentary, please be sure to join the ThePikaWu by subscribing. Thank you for watching my video, and peace out, guys.